What can I say, guys? Oh boy. Quick disclaimer. I'll give some credit to Doncaster. Quick disclaimer before I get into my post-match analysis. Fair play to Doncaster towards the last 10 minutes. They kept the pressure on. Didn't give up. I think we sat a little too deep last 10 minutes. I think in general we defended well throughout the game. Every now and again we sat deep and allowed Doncaster to get into our final third. But when they did get into our final third, we would usually defend well. Anytime they would put a through ball in, the likes of Nightingale and Brown would see it out, make a challenge, cut it out, dispossess them. And speaking of dispossessing, Doncaster did get dispossessed several times, actually. The likes of Asal, and Asal is always going to be somebody you look at to dispossess someone, but Asal and also Paris Magoma, too, immediately, like, as soon as they play to their center mids, Magoma always pressing and always dispossessing. But in the end, Doncaster were just able to find a way through. We were up 2-0, and we really let that one slip. We really did let that one slip, guys. I'm going to talk about the last 10 minutes first, and then I'll rewind and get into the rest of the game. First goal. You know what? I'm just going to start from the beginning. Fuck this. We played well in that first half. I think we didn't have the lion's share of the possession, but our defensive shape was good, and we played a couple of good balls, strung a couple good passes together when we were in possession, even though we didn't have much of it, and got a couple decent chances. Jack Curry made a run. Paris Magoma switched to play, and Jack Curry played a first-time ball down the penalty area to Davison, who blasted it and forced a save from Mitchell, who had to palm it up and then collect it afterwards. Both teams had a couple of half chances in that one. Nick Zanev, top drawer save from a free kick that Doncaster had from about 25 or so yards out. Great save there from Zanev. We question his positioning usually in free kicks, but his positioning there was good. Right around the center of the goal, was able to quickly get up and it wasn't a top hand save, but he was able to bring his near hand over and make that save, top drawer. Other than that, not too much to talk about in that first half. Second half, from 45th minute to 80th minute, just was all Wimbledon, really. All AFC Wimbledon. Doncaster were just pretty much forced to play it around the back, and then as soon as they played it to their midfielders, were always immediately on them, immediately pounced. Magoma, Chislett at times putting on the off-the-ball press. Asal, that was the best half of football. I gotta say, I'll take a positive from this. That was the best half of football Ayoub Asal has played in his career, at least professional career. I haven't seen him in the academy. Dispossessed people maybe 3 or 4 times, counterattacking. There were a couple of times where he showed brilliant skill. World-class skill. One time he did a Ronaldo chop in between 2 defenders to beat 2 defenders and put a cross low and hard. And the defender Williams got his foot to it before NYC, who just came on at that point around the 65th minute or so. Before NYC was able to steer it home, Williams was able to get his foot to it, and eventually they cleared their lines in that instance. A couple minutes later, Nightingale, long ball over to Asal. Asal, looking over his shoulder, flicks it with the outside of his foot over Williams, and Williams pulls him back and gets the yellow card. And a couple other times, Ayoub Asal going one way then the other, beating defenders. And then our second goal, actually, was when Ayoub Asal was I was going to say 1v1, but he had 2 defenders defending him. Cut to his left and cut back to his right, put the cross low and hard in between both defenders, and NYC was able to backheel it. Not really backheel, he used the outside of his foot, but it was behind him, and he was able to drag the inside of his foot, and the ball went behind, around his body, and towards the back post for an easy slot. And that was 2-0. And the first goal coming from NYC as well, actually. NYC got 2 goals today. The first goal was kind of a scrappy one. It was a good cross coming in towards the back post from Lee Brown on the left-hand side. Nodded back in. Actually, no, it was a header. Sorry, it was a header from Davison from about the top of the 6, around the center. Tried to nod it into the back post, hit the inside of the post, bounce off Mitchell, who the ball kind of came at Mitchell, And then NYC just immediately driving it first time. It bounced off somebody in that back post, and it just bounced around a little bit and found its way past. That was the first goal, actually, but NYC scoring twice. So very, very positive stuff from AFC Wimbledon for the first 80 minutes. And that's when it went downhill, boys. That's when it went downhill. I mean, to be fair, that first goal, not much AFC Wimbledon could have done, really, aside from a scuffed clearance from Nightingale, who, to be fair, had a good game. Nightingale had a good game. He won a couple of headers. Defensively, he was sound. But all it takes is one moment. Kind of a scuffed clearance from Nightingale. Not sure why he tried to clear with his left foot, to be fair. He could have maybe swung his right foot, going across his body to clear the cross that was about knee height. So that clearance ended up falling to the top of the 18 or so. Couple headers won. And then somebody from Doncaster laid it off to Rowe, who just blasted it back post. I mean, that was a really good shot there from Rowe. Brilliant from Rowe. Just powered it to the back post. And then they kept the pressure on. Fair play to Doncaster. They did not give up. And that corner kick. I mean, both goals really, AFC Wimbledon, I wouldn't blame them all that much defensively, aside from the scuff clearance from Nightingale in the first instance. The second goal, it was either NYC or Paul Kalambai, who had just come in as a substitute, that ended up losing his mark. And I'm going to look back here to see who exactly it was that was marking that player. Williams. Or no, it wasn't Williams. It was NYC that was marking number 22 there, Kieran Agard, in the near post. And NYC just a little slow to react. Kieran Agard flicks it back post. And it was Williams that was able to beat Gunter for physicality. I mean, Williams had the better positioning there, and he kind of flicked it. It was a flick onto the back post, and then it was a flick on from Williams to steer it home. And it's rough, man. It's rough. What a terrible ending. What an absolutely disappointing ending to what was a fantastic performance all around from AFC Wimbledon. And it really does hurt. It's a blow. Dropped 2 points. I'm not too upset. Honestly, I'm not too upset about the result, I should say. About the performance, rather. Excuse me. I'm very upset about the result, but the performance itself was fantastic all around, I feel, from AFC Wimbledon. Defensively, good shape until the 80th minute. We made 2 mistakes, really. And those 2 mistakes cost us. That's all it takes in football. That's all I have to say about that one. Let's go down the line and get into the player ratings. Mentality of these players got to change. Yeah, I mean, I think it was a little bit of mentality too. Last 10 minutes they were all over us, Doncaster. I think the game should have finished 2-1. I think we did enough on the day to win. But just 2 chances for Doncaster, 2 goals. They took their chances well. But anyway, going down the list here for player ratings. Zanev, 9. I think he made a very good save off that free kick. And came up big when he needed to. Came out and collected a few crosses. I think he was good on the ball for once. Nightingale, 8. I would have given an 8.5 to 9, but that scuffed clearance before that first goal ended up. He was the one that led to the second goal. I mean, he won a header and allowed AFC Wimbledon to have a second chance. But yeah, 8 for Nightingale due to that scuffed clearance. Pierce, I think was there. Decent defensively. I'd give him an 8. Lee Brown, I've given an 8.5. I think defensively is fairly solid. And put a very good ball into the box for Davison for that second goal. He wasn't the one that scored it, but he was the one that headed it and it went off the post. Or first goal, pardon me. Let's see. Gunter, go with a 7.5. Marsh, I think was good. I think Marsh was decent. Got it out of pressure a couple times. Helped out defensively a couple times. Give him an 8. Magoma, 9. He was a fireball kid. He dispossessed everybody a couple times, and when he was on the ball, he always looked to turn out of pressure and play a good ball. I mean, Magoma dumbfounded defenders several times with his ability to get out of pressure. 9 for Magoma. Chislett, I'd say 8. Curry was an 8.5. Asal was a 10. First 10 out of 10 for me this season. Davison, 7.5. Crazy. I didn't give anybody lower than a 7 today. Yet, it feels like we lost. Even though we didn't lose, it feels like a loss, certainly. But individually, I think everybody played their part. I just think as a unit, collectively, as a team, we just our mentality let us down towards the end. But fair play to Doncaster. I think, again, I'm not going to put too much blame on AFC Wimbledon. I think, the 2 goals from Doncaster came from two decent opportunities taken. And NYC, not known to be a defender, losing his mark on that second goal. It was a very good flick on, to be fair, from Kieran Agard, allowing Williams to steer it home. And that first goal, fair play to Rowe. So, that being said, disappointing, but a lot of positives to take into the next game. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next one.